Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Aurora C Sharp Uncut series. Moving on from yesterday's episode, we're going back into the Federalist Republic and we're going to be continuing our plans for leaving the solar system. Hopefully, we should get almost to that by the end of the episode, but if not, then definitely the next episode will be able to do that, considering our current rate of progression is about 5 years per episode. Going over what we looked at last episode, as I said, we were planning our exploration of the galaxy, and with this Explorer class survey frigate, which we had designed and prepared. Obviously, the components aren't all researched yet, so we'll have to wait a little bit for that. And also, we're going to need to get better technology for this on top. Another thing people did also say in the comments is that I put 2 refueling systems in here by mistake. I did, and I fixed that off screen. So that's all been sorted now. In terms of the terraforming station, people have suggested, oh, why don't you use installations to do it? Well, one of the reasons I don't really want to use terraforming installations is they're realistically not that much cheaper, right? So if we have a look at the cost, so it costs 300 uranium and 300 boronite for a terraforming installation. If we look at this, it costs 250 uranium and 250 boronite. So actually, the station is cheaper than the installations. Not only that, but they don't cost me any wealth. So it is more efficient and they don't take up population, which I'm going to need. Because let's say I want to terraform Mercury, I want as many people as possible to be mining. I don't want them to be working in terraforming installations when they could be working in the mines, especially when we have a higher colony cost and we don't really have as many people as I would like from the general population actually doing jobs. So yeah. People were talking about obviously our uranium situation. We did send over some mines to Vesta to try and make it a little bit better, but obviously it's working to a medium effect. We're going to definitely need a lot more. We have a 14,000 projected usage. And that's mainly down to the fact that we're producing a lot of construction factories and mines that we will need to actually be able to effectively do what we need to do and build mine 1 uranium and 2 just construct things. So the objectives for today's episode, we're going to try and get our jump drive efficiency and everything researched, and then once that is done, we can start thinking about actually exploring, because we can just instantly build these ships as soon as we need them, which is pretty nice, but obviously we have to wait a little bit for that. So I'm going to make sure we grab that drive as well. So this will take about 4 years before we can realistically start doing things. Did I actually assign those laboratories? Yes, I did. Very good. And we'll continue our, as you can see, a little bit of a triangle here of freighters going back and forth, delivering supplies, all that great stuff. Refueling happening over here. How much fuel do our Saturn fuel harvesters have right now? Well, they have none fuel, because currently our tanker, which is doing back and forth runs, is bringing that fuel back. I might have to actually delay that a little bit more to be a little bit more efficient fuel usage wise, but we'll see. But yeah, there's just a lot that's happening. We're just kind of waiting for our research to finish before we can fully commit to what we need to. We are continuing to survey the outer solar system. There's a few asteroids we still have to survey and a few other things. Speaking of that, the FRSS requisite needs to head home. Needs to have its orders resorted. And I'm going to begin scrapping these old vessels because we're not going to need them moving forward. So scrap that on. And then where are the others? There should be 2. Yes, there are. So we have, oh yes, Wayfarer, my bad. There's 2 different classes because gravitational and geological survey sensors are divided differently. Everything's looking good economically, and we are making good progress on that. Okay, we've scrapped both of those, which is good. And let's scrap the last one. Wayfarer, boom. And in terms of research, yeah, looking good. We'll have troop transport base, so we'll start thinking about actually designing some ground forces. What is our current tech ground forces wise? Let's have a look. We're at racial strength of 8 and a racial armor strength of 6. So the reason we have a much higher racial weapon strength is because we have carronades, some decently tech carronades, and carronades count towards our racial weapon strength. So yeah. How many more colonists have arrived on Mercury? Not really that many. That is kind of an issue. I don't want people arriving on Mars, really. I'd much prefer them arriving on Mercury, because Mercury is just going to be better for us. Because Mars doesn't have anything on it. Mass drivers have completed now beginning construction of naval shipyards. How is our uranium situation currently looking? Uranium stockpile is going up. That is good. We're getting 12 in from like mass driving, 9 in Empire mining. We're seeing a positive stockpile change. The FRSS Lynch, let's head straight back to Earth, please, and let's remove your standing orders so we can then get you completely disassembled. Research into our EM sensor for our ship is done. Speaking of that, what I am going to do is start renaming some of these components. As we did with this, I'm going to start renaming some of these components because, you know, I want it to be all nice and tidy and uniform. So we're going to call this the, since this is going to be a military engine, we'll call it Class ME, so military efficient engine. And then we'll go for, what is it, a T1250, EP 160, nuclear pulse drive. There we go. And then we want to go for our sensors. So we do have active search sensors here. So I'm going to rename this to Mark 1 active missile detection sensor. And we're going to make sure we put the stats in there. So this has an MTR range of 430, so we're going to do 43 km, km for that. And we're also going to put the tonnage in, so that is a size 50, or 50 ton. Then we're just going to change up these sensors. We're going to rename this to basic thermal sensor. Strength 24, T200. Same for the electromagnetic. So basic EM, electromagnetic sensor, EM 24, and then we'll do T200. Okay, that's good. And so now we should have everything pretty much renamed. Oh yes, we need to rename the jump drive. I'm going to rename this to class M J8000 jump drive T1600. We'll put in there as well. Okay, so now we have everything properly renamed, and then we can, yeah, I feel pretty good about that. We'll need to just come back. There we go. Everything's classified correctly. So now we're just going to be waiting here for the research, as I said, while we continue our exploits of the solar system. Mercury is kind of slow its population growth because it needs infrastructure, obviously, and so that is kind of unfortunate. Though it is, as you can see, making its own infrastructure, which is really, really nice, and also infrastructure is being loaded from off-world. So yeah, we're going to go for 5-day increments here, just to kind of speed everything up. We got new laboratories. We're going to put that into jump drive efficiency. That's going to take us another 2 years or so. We complete research into thermal sensors. That is good. I'm going to have the sensors and fire control systems now just focus on getting us better tracking speeds. We currently have a total of, what is that, 21, 24, we have 27 laboratories. We want to up that to like 40 at least. We can also now begin scrapping our new vessel here, so let's scrap that. Not our new vessel, but our surveyor. And we also have some more commercial shipyards, depending on what we want out of them, so that is good to see. I'm going to increase this one's capacity to 65,000 tons just to fit some of our ship class designs and stuff like that. There we go, that's been properly dealt with. Okay, let's have a look here. One thing I'm also going to do real quick is we're going to bring up Aurora electrons, as that is a very, very useful tool. So I'm just going to bring that up. There we go. Let's open that. And we're just going to have a make sure that everything's assigned correctly, make sure we've got everyone working where they need to be working at. So select our race. So we have 2 transport bays done in 185 days. We have 400 days until that. Nuclear pulse driver, we're doing in 578 days. Then we got a bunch of other stuff on the way. Warnings look fine. Minerals look okay. Habitability working good. We also have the rough template for that. So can we actually start affording to think about? Not really. I can't really think about it. Once our projector usage gets down enough, I'll start being able to build some terraformers to get going, but it's going to be a little while until we can effectively do that. Yes, we finally got our troop transport bay. That's very nice. So now I'm going to have the ground combat section start thinking about important things like designing actual troops. So before we do that, actually, though, I'm going to want at least powered infantry armor, and I want some construction equipment. Powered infantry armor, construction equipment, because powered infantry armor, I just think that should be the standard. I think it'll just work better for us, but that'll take obviously a couple of years to research. So we'll have to be a little cognizant of that. Jump drive efficiency 5 is now been completed. So then that means that we should be able to go over to this and look at our jump drive. Shouldn't that be not a prototype anymore? It's a problem. I'll have to design a jump drive then that's identical specs and same name, but I'll actually be able to research from prototype. So we'll just do this, class M, JT50, and I want a size 30 drive. No, I want a size 32. There we go. And we're just going to create that as a research. Let's get that underway immediately, please. I'm going to make sure that we have that. It's not that big of a research cost, so we should have both the nuclear pulse engine and also the class M jump drive done somewhat soon. And then we can start actually getting to explore our galaxy. Research completed into nuclear pulse drive. Good. We've also got this coming along, which will be important. I don't really see any need for further designs right now. I will continue capacity upgrade this, though, to 50,000 tons. Because we're going to need it. Okay, and then I'm going to start getting our navy sorted out. So 5,000 for this, and then 10,000 tons. And I'm going to upgrade the electric boat company here to a 15,000 tons. So I'm doing 5,000 ton increments, and that's where our ship classes are going to kind of sit around. There may be some, variants that are smaller or bigger, like light cruisers or heavy cruisers or light frigates, that kind of thing. But yeah, not too important for us just yet. So let's just take that drive off, and we're going to put on our actual jump drive. There we go. And now we have our Explorer class survey frigates. Let's give them some good names. I mean, we can name them after explorers. I believe that is a theme. Yeah, we can. There we go. I'm going to call them FRSS. Select random name from theme, please. And we are going to build 4 of these. So that's going to cost us 4,000 build points. And we'll do 2 per jump point, I guess. That'll work out for us there. So we'll put them into the shipyard for now, and we'll build. Do I really want 4? Let's do 2 for now. If we need more, we can build more. Okay, so that's 2 we built immediately. I'm going to detach both of them. I'm going to assign them to our survey command. And I'm going to tell the, what is this? These names. God damn, these names. The Noves. Maybe I made a mistake in this naming. Okay, well, you're going, if anyone can pronounce whatever the hell this name is, the FRS, that's not even English. If anyone can pronounce that, the appreciate. JM. I need to make sure that I just remove that by mistake. Okay, we're gonna have you then go through here, and then you go through here, and that'll, and then we can start our exploration. So yeah, here we go. So they're off to their jump points. Oh, did we have someone die? Oh no, that was the jump drive, of course. My bad. I'm gonna assign 10 research facilities to getting us better engines. So power and propulsion, 10. I'm gonna get biology on the way actually as well, just to get faster terraforming speeds. And here we go. We're going to begin exploration. So the first one will be the Gurdwara. I do not know what the hell that name is. Okay, this is looking promising. So we've explored the system of Centauri. This is looking very promising. Nitrogen, oxygen, atmosphere, 0.097 oxygen. That could easily be made breathable with literally just 0.03 extra. Temperature is a little bit of a pain. It's not tidally locked. We then have a gas giant, which has multiple different worlds. We also have this, which has practically a breathable atmosphere, but is a little bit higher in temperature. So at least one good planet to start with, and then a second planet that we can terraform. Then we have a desert mountain world with a nitrogen, oxygen, argon atmosphere. Now, I would be very surprised if there are no aliens at either. If there are no aliens at either, we've hit the jackpot. This world is immensely valuable because it is a desert mountain. That's the hardest world to actually attack. It's also got a very extremely Earth-like atmosphere. It has no water though, so we will have to add water, which will take some time. But these are definitely. How big is the system? It's not that big. It's about 1.1 billion kilometers wide. What's the distance to the jump point? What is that? Yeah, about 1.4 billion kilometers total. Okay. Well, we can. Oh yeah, I did not set up their stuff correctly. Let's do that. Survey nearest 5 star systems. We fuel deployment exceeded, and we're just gonna do exactly what we did on our last one. There we go. Make sure everything, because they can now do both. So we'll assign it correctly here. Deployment exceeded, and then refuel. Okay, here we go. If there were no aliens here, I'll be very, very shocked. Well, shocked and surprised. And I'll be very happy as well. So far, so good. Electromagnetic sensors not detecting anything. Okay, we've discovered the system of Lumen 16. Doesn't look as promising. Lumen 16 is basically a dead system. We'll leave that to that. We may, if this is a system without any aliens in it, I'm going to buy another survey vessel and send it in here because our speed is actually very slow, and I want to be able to survey as good as we can. What was the problem? Inactive research facilities. Yes, that is a little bit of a problem, isn't it not? We need to begin immediate small jump point stabilization module because if, again, this system could literally decide our entire campaign here. It's extremely important we find out more information about this system. Okay, well, we just surveyed that. Alpha Centauri. Minerals. I don't think it's more than NPR. This has got some thorium because it would lag to hell if it did, but that could be a precursor. These bonuses are really helping me out here. Okay, we've got research facility on the way. Let's add another 5 just to keep that going. Another 5. Shipyard's looking good. I'm going to use this one as a 1,000-ton pack shipyard. Okay, new jump point discovered. We're surveying pretty quickly considering that we're only on 20%, but that's thanks to all the bonuses we're getting, which is helping a lot here. Okay, so what have we found so far? Number 3, 32 million tons of uranium. I like that. We do not have any uranium where we are, so we're gonna need that. Survey. Okay. Very, very good. I'm getting very excited about this place. 2.8 million, accessibility 1, looking good. I don't think there's any aliens here. we've hit the jackpot, ladies and gentlemen. We have hit the jackpot. We have 2 nitrogen, or 3. I mean 3. So we have Alpha Centauri 1, which is basically an archipelago world, but it is practically fully colonizable here. I just have to tick a few changes to the oxygen pressure, and then it is very, very low colony cost. Then we also have the 3rd planet, which is a nitrogen oxygen atmosphere. Just have to bring the oxygen down and also raise the temperatures, and then that is a habitable world. We have Alpha Centauri B3, which we've just found, and that is a desert mountain nitrogen oxygen world, which has a 32 million tons of uranium. So we can just put a bunch of mines on here and just mine as much uranium as we want, realistically. Yeah, so this is looking extremely promising. We're now surveying the inner planet. A ruined city and an ancient construct. We have hit the jackpot, ladies and gentlemen. 21 million tons of uranium at accessibility 1. 5.2 million tons of 0.8 accessibility of corundium. We have neutronium, and we have a ruined city and a dormant construct. Okay, first thing I'm going to immediately do with this is a few things. First off, I need a xenological equipment immediately. I also need to design a troop transport. We need the troop transport, and we're going to go for our Class C engines. I want to transport, let's say, we'll do 5,000 ton increments, so I'm going to do like 10,000 tons. Transport capacity, troop transport, I want standard. No, I don't want standard, I want large. 2 of these. And then I'm going to add in a 3rd engine, and I will add in some fuel storage as well. We'll just add in some more to make it nice and even. Oh yes, I'm using cargo shuttles, aren't I? Yes, I will. So we'll add in one of those, and then the rest of the fuel can be added in just to make it nice and even at 21,000 tons. There we go. So that will allow us to transport 10,000 tons of troops. And we can start moving that. But Alpha Centauri A1, people were asking in the comments last video, how are you going to get out of your uranium shortage? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got 2 worlds here with uranium accessibilities of very high uranium. This is 1.0. We have 50 million uranium in this, and also 6.2 million corundium. That is extremely, extremely impressive. Gravitational survey completed in Lumen. Okay, cool. Let's get you then to head over to the jump point and start exploring. The system of Tau Ceti has been found. Nitrogen oxygen atmosphere, ice fields. This doesn't have any aliens on it. It might have precursors or something, but this does not actually have any aliens because it has oxygen of 0.049 and they need 0.05 to actually be able to spawn. So that is looking good. Nitrogen oxygen atmosphere, we can increase that and increase temperatures. 10 billion population. That's a high amount of people that we can have on this world. Tau Ceti also looking pretty good here. So we can start our surveying of the system and see what we find. Geological survey, how is that going? Tau Ceti A3, nothing too big there. And we're going to continue. Reverse slipway added. Good. We'll continue adding those slipways because I want to be able to build 1,000 ton vessels very, very quickly. Research is going good. When are we going to have those small jump point stabilization? I want as many research facilities to go into that as possible. We're going to remove some of those and we're going to move those straight into that just to get us there. Do we have a better construction and production person? Yes, we do in fact have a better construction and production. So we are going to immediately order them to start the going off against those. Now, something that's very important to consider when we have a look at Alpha Centauri is it has a dormant construct. Now, I don't have invaders turned on, so this isn't much of a risk to me, but it is a big benefit because dormant construct means that we get a research bonus. This is on a world which is very habitable. and close to Sol, we could theoretically get a big bonus in, let's say, power and propulsion, logistics, anything, 90%, and we could send laboratories over there, and we could begin, we could get a massive bonus, because consider the fact we're on, on research speed 20% here. It could be the gold mine, so to speak. We also have a ton of uranium, iridiums here. We have neutronium, boronite, more uranium, boronite, galisite, loads and loads of resources just everywhere in this lovely binary star system. Bavaria was constructed. That is, I'm not sure why it's in the task force like that. It should be over here in the fuel harvesters, but we're gonna get that moved over. Really quick here. So fleets and FHS. Yeah, let's move you over. I'm gonna move you over to the Saturn fuel harvesters. Release tractor chips. Refuel. That'll take about 10 days. Cool, and then we can, yeah, there we go. So it's gone right into the thing. So now we are producing 6.2 million liters of fuel. Very nice. We completed construction of our construction factories, which is very, very good. We now have 600 construction factories. So for our further colonization efforts for these worlds, there's a few things I want. The first thing I want is going to be infrastructure, of course. So I'm going to order in 4,000 ton. Oh, that's a lot of infrastructure that we need. I'm going to hold on that. But for continuing our efforts, I am going to build 5 of these. We're going to go for 5%. 5 refueling stations, 5 ordnance transfer stations, and also we'll go for the rest. We'll go for 1,000 units or 2,000 units of infrastructure at 10%. I'm also going to put an order in here for 100 more mines at 25%. And we'll do not cargo shuttles, construction factories, 100 more of those for 25. In terms of our stockpile situation, it is getting better. Depletion in 41 years. We are mining much more. I'm actually going to order this guy and get someone who can do some more mining to get us more resources. But yeah, everything is looking extremely good in terms of our prospects this game because of this system. This system is going to become the most important system, almost besides Sol, in the Empire. We will need to secure it with significant defensive installations and significant support vessels and various other things, because it has so many resources that we are going to need. It has corundium, uranium, ruined constructs, ruined cities, and I'm very interested to see what we can get out of that ruined city, so to speak. Speaking of that, we are going to need some ground forces, but we can't really get... I'm not really going to go on to that until we get our powered infantry armor, so we're going to get that somewhat soon, so that'll definitely be quite nice. We discovered a new jump point. I'd like as little jump points in the system as possible, but there may be quite a few because it is a large system. But yeah, this is looking extremely good here for the Federalist Republic. And we should have a great game, great campaign here. We continued our continual capacity upgrades. I'm going to have this increased Sip-Lip way. What is our thing called? Burgundy, right? Okay, I'm going to retool the Burgundy, and I'm going to have Shipyard Fleet get a couple of those built, just because we're going to need them to actually transport our forces around. There's going to be plenty of jump points in these systems, which is really, really nice. I think I'll have to grab a few more explorers. Yeah. So now we're getting ordnance transfer. The reason I'm getting these, by the way, is because I want to build some. I have a doctrine of putting naval outposts in my howitzer systems. I want to be able to actually support that. So I'm looking at locations in the system that we could put them around. Some of these moons we could definitely use for a naval base. We could put it obviously on the ruined city. This world, obviously, we could use that. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of promise in this system, and I'm very excited to begin exploiting it. So we just finished construction of the Bavaria. Uh, we had a maintenance issue here. Let's get the Bavaria moved over, please. Don't know why it shows up in this task force. We're gonna have to redo that and get it sorted out here. No. I want you to go detach. Thank you. So group, grab that, please. Tractor. Then take that over to the Saturn fuel harvesters, please. Great. Thank you very much. Okay, now Sol, because that just came back, we have to move it over. Go help Alva Centauri out, please. That is the priority at this moment. I want to know how many jump points are in the system, and as soon as possible. So now we are mining with harvesting 8.2 million liters of fuel, which is just enough capacity for our tanker at the moment. So we can continue our survey, but I'm very happy because this could obviously very easily we could have faced aliens, and that would not have been very fun. So this is definitely going very nicely. I mean, look at this planet here. Argon, oxygen, nitrogen in quantities that I would that are literally like the exact amount like around Earth has. The only thing we need to do is I'm gonna make a colony on this world, by the way. The only thing we're gonna need to do is increase water. So that's what we're gonna need in terms of that. Terraformers. Can we afford to start producing some terraformers? I think we can. I think our stockpile's getting up there. We can start thinking about actually building some terraformers. That's the Cheshire, right? I just want to make sure. Yeah, that is the Cheshire. So we're gonna build 2 of these to start. We can build 1 at the moment, but we're gonna give this a 25%. I'm gonna cancel this because that's just kind of overlapping. And those 2 will be done somewhat soon. I'm gonna make sure I'm actually going into the correct one here. Yeah, make sure you're going into the correct one. That'll take a few years to actually build, so we may want to actually consider changing things out. How many mines do you have? 324. We're going to need a lot more for when we start colonizing the Alpha Centauri system, because it is going to be of paramount importance to do so. We've completed research into improved power bed. That will give us access to researching improved nuclear pulse, which will be important for our warships. I want to get to Ion if we can, but that might not be possible. That might be a little bit unrealistic. Are you not resupplying? No. Do we have enough? We should have enough. Yes, we have plenty. Refuel, resupply. Oh, you're only refueling. That's the problem. Refuel, resupply. I'd like to set it so you can also I would like refuel and resupply, but I'm not able to do that, and that's really annoying. But that's fine. It's fine. You can resupply now, and there you go. You got your maintenance supplies, you got your fuel, and let's head you over to Alpha Centauri, and get you getting good. We just finished Powered Infantry armor, so let's actually start designing some ground forces. This is a very busy episode, lots happening, and I hope you guys are enjoying. We're coming towards the end, so actually, we're just going to quickly design some ground forces, and I'm going to close it up for this episode. This episode probably going to be a little longer than usual. So we're going to go for personal weapons here, and then we're going to go for powered infantry armor. So you see the difference there, that's a 33% or 50% increase in that armor, which is significant, like that's the difference between, if we have a look at our penetration, right? Like that's the difference between our own personal weapons penetrating fully through our armor and them not, right? So, and obviously that does increase the cost by 50%, but I think that's worth it for me, honestly. So we're gonna call this the Federalist Guardsman, 2147. Make sure we have that classified up. That'll be 5 tons. Okay, and then I want to get some various other things. So crew served, anti-personnel, crew-served anti-personnel. That is going to be our Federalist Guards, heavy MMG team. It's not heavy because we don't. It's not heavy crew-served anti-personnel. Let's create that one. I want some light anti-vehicles, so we're gonna go AT team. And then I'm going to go for some light bombardment. So this will be mortars. We just want a variation of lots of different kinds of capability. We are also going, and I'm going to design the headquarters. We're going to go with an infantry one. We're going to do 10,000 ton battalions. So that'll be our base. So this will be a battalion HQ. Avoid combat, please. That's good. And then I want some forward fire direction. So we're going to do recon team 2147, avoid combat. Logistics module. I'm not going to really draw any logistics from in the battalion itself. I'll draw them outwards, so I'm going to need a vehicle for that. And we'll start off with infantry battalions for now. We'll think about doing some tanks later on, but I just want something that can hold a position and defend it, as well as stop and rest, but also be useful. I don't want to create non-useful ships. So let's go with a light vehicle. This will be we're going to call this the military supply MST 62. So that means military supply truck 60, or MSV. We'll do MSV. Military supply vehicle 62. So that means it provides 62. So 62 is 60. It's a size 62. So we're just going to go MSV 62. Avoid combat. Very good. Okay, and I think that's everything we're going to need for now. Let's get our ground combat researching onto that when they can. I'm going to remove a laboratory from you, 2 laboratories from you, and I'm going to get another ground combat guy onto these, just because I don't want to disrupt this stuff, but I also do want to get the other stuff. So let's just get it all into queue. Most of it's pretty cheap, so it shouldn't take that long. It'll take a little bit though, because it does add up. But overall, that should all be done somewhat soon. For those guardsmen, FG mortar, AT team. So that'll take us around a year, maybe a couple of years to get fully done. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave the episode off. We hit the literal exploration jackpot with this first system that we discovered. Just absolutely beautiful. Ruined city, dormant construct, millions of resources we need, tons of capacity to hold our people and continue the human race. And yeah, it's just absolutely a great start here for our exploration efforts. I've been Space Marine. Please don't like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.